Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
I don't see a big difference between what AHS has been trying to do with Pastor Stevens compared to what they've been doing with Pastor Pawlowski's, or either Pastor Pawlowski, David or Artur. So, I remain a little hopeful that they'll also come to the same conclusions on Artur and David's case regarding Justice Rook. It's clearly the right decision.
I say they should apologize publicly. The police officers, AHS, and the provincial government should apologize to Pastor Tim and his congregation and his children and his wife, because what they have done against this man is horrible. I'm glad it's over for him. It's not over for me yet.
Hey, Adam here for Rebel News, and we've just learned that all charges against Pastor Tim Stevens have been dropped by Alberta Health Services lawyers. This is an exciting development, certainly for Pastor Tim Stevens and his family, and for everyone who's been following that story, but there are also broader implications. There are questions as to whether this ruling or this retraction of those charges could impact other cases, particularly the case of Pastor Artur Pawlowski. I'm now here with Sarah Miller of JSS Barristers to maybe talk about some of the implications for her client as a result of these charges being dropped.
Yeah, so I'm thrilled for Pastor Stevens. I think that that's great news. If I don't receive similar news, I will be a bit shocked, to be honest. I don't see a big difference between what AHS has been trying to do with Pastor Stevens compared to what they've been doing with Pastor Pawlowski's, or either Pastor Pawlowski, David or Artur. So, I remain a little hopeful that they'll also come to the same conclusions on Artur and David's case regarding Justice Rook. It's clearly the right decision. Justice Rook's order is very clear about who it applies to, at least to the extent that it certainly doesn't apply to Artur and David. And I'm really hopeful that this means that soon we'll be hearing the same news.
Well, I'm so glad that Pastor Tim is out, and of course I'm very, very happy that they realized, the AHS, the Alberta government and the municipal government, that they did a big mistake. And you know what I say? I say they should apologize publicly. The police officers, AHS, and the provincial government should apologize to Pastor Tim and his congregation and his children and his wife, because what they have done against this man is horrible. I'm glad it's over for him. It's not over for me yet, but I believe that they will eventually do the right thing.
And that's a question that's been raised a lot. You and Pastor Tim are very different personalities, I think that's fair to say, but the facts of your cases are quite similar. So do you suspect, or do you hope at least, that they'll use the same logic they used in his case for your case?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen. However, for thousands of years, those wannabe tyrants, they wanted to get rid of Judeo-Christian values. The attack on Christianity is for thousands of years. And those people are trying hard. But my question is always, where is Adolf Hitler? Where is the Roman Empire, the Persian Empire? Where's Mao Zedong? And where is Joseph Stalin? In the end of the day, the truth wins. The truth always stands like a pillar on its own. It doesn't need a backing. But the lie needs terror and fear. And that's what they're using right now. They're terrorizing us, those wannabe tyrants, Jason Kenney's type. They will end up in the history books as the tyrants, as the prosecutors of Christians. I will end up in the history books as the one that fought for my rights to have a church and to preach the gospel. So I would not want to change my name for theirs.
I know one of the things that seemed to come up a lot in court on Wednesday is perhaps that, like, Pastor Artur was brash or not the nicest as people intruded on his worship. Is there any legal basis for someone not being nice being used as a justification for charges being held in one place and not another?
So ordinarily not. Now, we don't need uniform application or enforcement of laws at all times. There is a little bit of discretion there. Now, but as you maybe remember in court on Wednesday, what I said to Justice Germain is, this is a civil contempt. This is not about, the relationship between AHS and Artur Pawlowski. And the courts prior have been very clear that breaching a legislation, some sort of subordinate legislation like a public health order, that is not the same as being in contempt of court. You can be, ignoring legislation and not be in contempt of court. So it's really about what the Rook order says and whether or not that's a reasonable interpretation what AHS is taking. And frankly, if they've come to a conclusion that it's not reasonable with Pastor Stevens, I think that it's only a matter of time before they come to the same conclusion, but time will tell.
So the facts seem quantitatively similar enough that the same logic should apply?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, great. So that's some wonderful news, and we're hoping to have an update from hopefully Alberta Health Services lawyers dropping the charges altogether against Pastor Artur Pawlowski moving forward. In the meantime, though, we know that there is still a legal battle being fought. So if you want to support Pastor Artur and ensure that we can have those charges dropped, go to saveartur.com to help now. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Soos.
I want to thank you so much for your support. I want to thank you for every dollar, for every donation you have sent to the Rebel News for the lawyers, that I can stay out of jail. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May God bless you for your heart. You're part of this movement. You're part of this defense. Without you, we would not be able to do what we have accomplished so far. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.